Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. The following message that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received. The translation of that message, it reads like this. I remember every detail about the day when I left Zim. I was filled with hope and I was filled with excitement, thinking that Dubai was going to be my ticket to a life full of luxury. Growing up, I had seen pictures of the glittering city with its towering skyscrapers and lavish malls, and I was totally captivated. I wanted that life where money was no object and every day felt like a dream. So I saved up, made some connections, and then I found my way in Dubai. When I arrived, I stayed with a friend who had been there a few years already. She showed me the ropes, taught me how to dress, introduced me to the men who could make my dreams come true. It was not long before I found myself in circles that I never imagined, rubbing shoulders with millionaires, businessmen, and even reality. They wanted someone beautiful on their arm, someone to entertain them, someone to make them feel special, and for a while I loved it. It was all about the money. I did not know that there was another dark side. I was flown to private islands, stayed in the most luxurious hotels, received gifts that I had only seen in magazines. The money, talking about the money was simply incredible, more than I could have ever imagined, and it was really great. It felt so powerful. I really felt like I had control over my life, but beneath the surface, I was starting to feel shallow. There was something that was so wrong, especially this other day when these young Arabian guys, when they wanted to have a threesome with me. At first, I refused, but then they forced me. They did not make love to me in the shower. It seemed as if these young boys, they had just seen a porn movie about a black woman getting raped. This was in the toilet, and that was what they wanted to do with me. They wanted to relive that experience of the movie that they had seen. They dragged me to the toilet, and when I was in the toilet, that was when one of the guy just pooped and did not flush. It was so smelly, yet they kept on sleeping with me. The men that I spent time with, they all had different expectations. Some were violent, some were cruel. Some, they would just want a black woman in bed, not to make love to her, but to be with the women of their own kind, making love to them, looking at you with hatred in their eyes. I don't know what kind of a fetish is that one called. They wanted to control every aspect of my life, from what I wore to how I spent my days. I had to be available to them at moments' notice. Sometimes they would ask me to do things that left me feeling degraded. I told myself it was just part of the lifestyle. I was doing what I needed to survive in a world that cared more about appearances more than anything else. One night I was invited to an exclusive party at a penthouse. The view was breathtaking, with city lights sparkling beneath us. But as the night wore on, things took a dark turn. I realized I was in over my head when the man hosting the party asked me to participate in something that crossed every line that I had set for myself. I felt trapped, like I had no way out. Saying no was not an option, not when you are in a place where your safety depends on keeping the people around you happy. When I finally made it back to my apartment, I totally broke down because I had been given a cake shaped as if it was poop. That was the cake that I was given, and I had to eat it. There was even a bucket that was full of horse poop. It was not nice. It was hard to explain what I was going through. My mom kept on calling me, telling me about all the promises that I had made to her, of the money that I was supposed to send to her so that we can start a business for my brother who was struggling in South Africa. All that they saw were the glamorous picture that I will be posting on my Facebook and my WhatsApp status, thinking that I was living the dream For a while, I let them believe it. I could not bring myself to tell them the truth that behind the designer clothes, the fancy cars, I was losing myself. The worst part was the loneliness. I was surrounded by people every day, but I felt completely isolated. The men I entertained were not interested in who I was. They only cared about what I could offer them. I had no real friends, no one to be confident in. I was constantly on edge, afraid that one wrong move would cost me everything. I started to think about going back to Zim, but that thought scared me even more. How could I return after leaving this? How can I face my family, knowing the things that I have done, the kind of a life that I am living? It is totally addictive. Staying in 5-star hotels, being given money by men. When I think about returning back home, I feel like I cannot do it. There are so many nights when I wake up and I'll be crying in bed. Life of a slay queen, it is not easy at all. It does not matter from where I come from. I once went on the website trying to book a flight ticket back home, but I was going to pass through South Africa. So I had spoken with my friend who was going to come and pick me up at the airport. She then said that if I did not want to go back home, she could get a job for me as a maid. Me to work again as a maid. That was the life that I once lived when I was in South Africa, working as a maid, surviving sometimes on piece jobs, a life that I had promised myself that I am never going to live when I came here to Dubai. I do not want to return back home, because I know the poverty that I left there, it will be waiting for me. But there is freedom. There is freedom back home. In this land, there is no freedom. There is no freedom at all. I was once told by an Arabian guy that I am one of his most useless concubines ever. He is very abusive when it comes to making love to a woman. He tells you some things that can damage your heart. So here I am, thinking about what am I supposed to do. I am stuck between two worlds. Part of me wants me to stay here in Dubai, enjoying the life, because my friends, they think that I have made it in life. I even lied to my friends that I am now married to a white man who is sponsoring me here in Dubai. But my cookie is the one that is sponsoring my stay here in Dubai, and I don't know for how long I am going to be able to hold this. I do cry so many nights when I think about the things that I have to go through so that I can be able to send money back home to my parents. I have been spoiled so much that I do not want to work anymore. I worked really hard when I was in South Africa for 3 good years. 3 years working really hard. What did I achieve? Nothing. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our sister. That was the translation of the message that she sent to me. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world.